Welcome back. On the show today, we have musician Bruce Conklin. Bruce is telling us all about his connection with Big Records, the tour. So let's get right into the tour and take us through a day-to-day operation of your role and some of the high points of the tour there, Bruce.
Well, as I said, I started off on this tour as a guest musician or a guest artist. And having brought Nolan aboard, he took over the role of music director. And he assigned me we've been working side by side for the last 20 some odd years, as I said. He just assigned me, you're part of the house band. Whoever's playing, you're on stage.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we showed up to Nashville with 1 day rehearsal. And thank you very much to the Musicians Union. They have a lovely rehearsal hall in Nashville, and they gave us access to that.
Beautiful.
So we had a whole day to pull people who had never met each other. And that first show we did in Nashville was a live stream. So we had to prepare 20 songs in 1 day with artists we'd never met.
So how many people were on stage during that first show, like musician-wise?
Musician-wise, during the show, mostly a six-piece band.
Six-piece band. And then with the guy out front or the girl out front singing, or
whoever the featured artist was.
And you were part of that team of the six-piece band.
Yep, I was providing rhythm guitar and backing vocals for whoever
really
needed
nice.
it. Yeah,
really nice. Yeah, and
but,
I think
playing well with others is something that I really enjoy doing, and that I'm very adept at after 50 years. There's so many different situations where I can just sit in. I wouldn't even have to have heard the song before. Most of the time, you keep your ears open and stuff makes sense.
And tell us, it was, if I'm correct, I think it was all or mostly all original tunes, was it not?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Primarily, I know there was a couple cover tunes thrown in there, but primarily it's all original, and I do all original material.
So for our viewers, I'm just trying to set it up. So the concert would start each night at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, or were they afternoon gigs, or?
Yeah, well, primarily they were the 7 till 10.
7 to 10
evening gigs. We had a beautiful time in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Chattanooga. I mean, what a classic name that is.
Yeah.
Chattanooga. Really?
Yeah, and the venue was actually a music museum. So they had all these rare guitars. Here's a guitar Dolly Parton played when she recorded this song or that song, and it's a pretty cool venue.
And did normally would be a two-set show? Was that how you guys would do it, or just one long concert?
Yeah, well, I think we broke up. We ended up breaking up the shows into two sets, just because people have to take a break at some point.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. And you guys did, I think, what, 5 or 6 dates? Is that correct?
Well, it was originally 5.
Yeah.
But one of the venues had an issue, and I think it was our Thursday night show, so we never did make it to Duluth, Georgia.
And what was really cool, I understand, is this was intertwined with Rise Up TV. So it was a TV show behind the scenes and front of the scenes.
That's the concept. Rise Up TV is the concept behind these tours, and it's to capture musicians on the road, of course, at the best of times, but it also captures them when things do go wrong. For instance, what happens when Duluth went down. Well, it was very close to Remembrance Day, or as they call it now there, Veterans Day.
Veterans Day, yeah.
And so we offered to perform for a Veterans Association.
How nice is that?
Yeah,
that's great.
It was en route to the next place. It was Tim's idea, a big-hearted guy, and he just said, "Well, we're not doing anything today.
Yeah.
Why don't we go sing for some veterans?"
That's great. I love that.
Really, really appreciated that.
I think that's the kicker, because we're all about supporting our vets. So I really like that. Tell me about, like, What was it like on the bus? What was that like? Because you guys
Well,
slept on the bus, traveled on the bus, everything.
here's the thing: is having been on the bus before, I went and uh, Stephen K. Stephen Kidwell and his lovely wife, they offered that they had a beautiful bus of their own.
Yeah.
And weeks before the tour, they said, "Well, we're going to have our bus along. Why don't you and Nolan stay in Comfort? Because uh, both Steve and Nolan are from the same part of Eastern Oregon,
Okay.
and they had never met each other face to face, but had all the same friends, including um, Carolyn, who'd been a fan of our band for 25 years.
That's great. Wow. Now,
Yeah, so we finally met up, but unfortunately, 2 weeks before the tour, they got T-boned and their
oh,
bus was totaled.
oh,
Yeah, so to make the tour themselves, they had to retrieve their diesel truck and buy a fifth wheel.
oh,
They showed
wow.
up at a rolling palace. This is just the most amazing thing, and we had such a great time, just because there was that whole connection, Eastern Oregon, Northeast Oregon, Nolan's being from LeGrand and Stephen being from Pendleton, which are like half an hour's drive apart.
Great. That's
Same cowboy culture. So
wonderful.
we got right into that whole thing. Unfortunately, on our way to Danbury, uh, their truck, not being used to hauling a fifth wheel, had some problems, and we had to leave them behind.
Oh, really?
Unfortunately,
Well, that's part of the tour. That's. I mean, that's how it goes, right? When you're doing something live on the run, it's you got to keep on
but
going.
surprised how supportive just your average Joe on the street was. A person pulled over. Can I help you? Stephen said, "Yeah, I need a diesel mechanic." He says, "Jump in." Came back half an hour later with the news. Yep, we're going to have the tow truck pull up. Nolan says, "How can we get where we can rent a vehicle and catch up with the tour?" And the guy says, "Well, the airport. It's a 40-minute drive. Hop in." We threw our guitars, our instruments, and our suitcases in the back of the stranger's car. He drove us 40 minutes to an airport. He had already put in an hour, saving Stephen from the. And then apparently he went back after dropping us off just to check that they were okay.
Wow, this that's quite. See, that's great that you guys caught it on film, or hopefully some of them. What we're gonna
Well,
do? Let's take a.
unfortunately, we didn't catch
Oh, I
the
didn't
the the
catch
good
that.
the
Eh?
good the good Samaritan because the bus had already pulled ahead by a few hours. By the time the truck broke down, and we had to leave Stephen and Carolyn at the side of the road with their two beautiful dogs.
Huh. Well, this would be very interesting. No, stay tuned. I want to take another quick break, and then we want to come back. I want to talk about if people want to find out more information about the tour, more
Okay.
information about your career or Big Records. Where could they go? So stay tuned. You're watching Wild Child Records. We'll be right back.